All right, I love that you're continuing to watch these videos. It makes me feel so awesome to know that you are finding this of value. The next setting here we want to look through are all of your audio settings. So let's go over to Ecamm Live and then click on Preferences and then open ourselves over to the Audio tab. In here, you're going to see many different settings, and they can be a little bit tricky depending upon the kind of hardware that you have, but I want you to just keep in mind, keep it simple. Keep everything that you have as simple as possible at the start if you're brand new to recording content or live streaming, and then later on as you start to build out your comfort, then start to add on maybe potentially some extra audio sources, the mixers or USB interfaces, things like that. But now let's just take a look at the actual settings themselves. The first off, you can choose what speaker you are going to output your Ecamm Live audio to. So this involves whatever's playing inside of Ecamm or who is speaking inside of Ecamm other than yourself. So just keep that in mind. You know, sometimes people don't really understand how the audio works. You actually should really never hear yourself unless you're using an external mixer or USB interface for headphone monitoring. But you should never hear yourself from the actual software itself. So by changing this speaker setting here, it's not going to allow you to monitor your own audio. That's a completely different option that's generally best done through hardware. However, any guests that you bring on through Skype or through interview mode or through Ecamm for Zoom, any of those guests' audios, as well as your videos that are being played, any sound effects or music tracks that are being played, all of that information or that sound is going to come through Ecamm Live, and this setting will allow you to change it away from the default computer setting and direct it immediately to another interface. So typically, to make things really simple, I do this myself as well as I teach all my clients this, is I leave this as the system default. And from there, you can see this is the speaker output option on your Mac system, so your Mac computer. I select which output I have here. So right now I have it going to my Elgato Wave XLR, and then I can go ahead and put my headphones on when I want to listen to audio. So that means everything, whether I'm playing audio or a video from YouTube, or if I have an application that's making noise, or Ecamm Live and I have some guests, all of that audio is going out to the system default, which is the Wave XLR for my headphones. Now, if I'm just doing regular recordings, it doesn't have to go to this XLR. It could go straight over my speakers, which are the Mac Studio speakers or one of my Thunderbolt audio speakers that are routed on my computer system. So to make things simple, just leave this as your system default and only change the output of your actual Mac computer so that you can hear the sources of all audio in one specific location. Now, what I'm going to say next is a little bit confusing, and I don't want to cause any problems by saying this. This is where a lot of the challenges with sound and audio routing happen. Many people will leave this as a system default, and then in Ecamm, they'll change this to something else by accident, and they're wondering, why is their audio not routing properly? Why are they hearing different things? Why is there an echo happening? This is where a lot of that challenge occurs. So what I'm going to suggest to you is, if you don't understand yet the intricacies of audio routing, simply select the Mac speaker output to go to whichever destination you want. So if it's your speakers on your desktop, great, have your speakers on your desktop. If it's a headphones, great, route that to your headphones, but leave this option here in Ecamm Live Preferences as the default setting. The next two options here, you can see use echo cancellation and enable echo cancellation for external speakers. These are going to be needed if you are using external speakers. Now, I am using external speakers for many different applications. However, when I'm recording content and I'm not listening to anything, it doesn't really matter because nothing's coming out of my speakers, and therefore there's nothing going to be heard by my microphone from those speakers. Now, if I am playing audio, whether that's music playing from a video or whether that's music or sound effects playing from Ecamm Live itself, now this is where we have to start understanding, okay, now I have to start to check my audio, and I want to make sure that it's not echoing. So that's where these two options are for. So the first one is use echo cancellation. So when you have echo cancellation enabled, and I'm going to move this screen down a little bit, you can see here the sound levels panel. If I have external speakers, I'll have this option checked, and that will make this option appear. So if I know I'm using external speakers and I'm listening to my guests, or I'm listening to a YouTube video that I'm doing a critique on, then I want to make sure I enable echo cancellation for external speakers. And in addition to that, I'm going to click Use Echo Cancellation. So what this is going to do is every time the microphone's being used, the audio from the other speakers that are on my desk, the microphone's going to cancel out that information so you don't hear the music coming in and echoing. Now, if you are not listening to anything, you don't need to have this enabled. What you want to do is you want to create the highest quality audio possible. And so by doing that, you would uncheck Use Echo Cancellation, and therefore there's no additional audio processing. And so now Ecamm Live is recording the highest audio quality as possible without massaging it to cancel out all of these the other audio levels that are coming out of the speakers. That's just a quick suggestion. Now, if you are always a headphone user, then you don't need echo cancellation at all. So you can just go ahead and uncheck this box here, and you will see the echo cancellation option is completely gone. So that way you are not getting any audio processing happening on your system. You are going straight from your microphone and the source directly into Ecamm Live without processing, and that's the highest quality of audio that you have available. The next option here says Broadcast System Audio. This is if you are playing videos or other applications that are playing audio. Do you want to play that audio and have that coming through your Ecamm recording or to your live stream? So by default, I do like to have this as never. However, there are situations where people are sharing an application or sharing a YouTube video, and they have added the overlay, and you want that system audio that you're playing to be shared and heard through your Ecamm Live recording or your live stream. In that case, you're going to go ahead and click on When Sharing the Screen or All the Time. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of a cautionary note here. If you do choose all the time, that means any time there's a little ding for a notification of a new message that came in, or let's say you're in the middle of a recording or a live stream and a FaceTime, comes in on your phone and your actual Mac starts to play that sound, then all the time means that stuff's going to get put in through to your actual recording or live stream. And generally speaking, we don't really want that. So if I know that I'm going to do a screen share or an app of something that makes audio and I want that to be heard in my live stream or app, then I'm going to go ahead and click on When Sharing the Screen. Now, that option here allows me to go ahead and create a scene with my video and then a new screen overlay that's playing a YouTube video as an example. And every time I hit the YouTube video and play it, I can hear it both in my own headphones or on my speakers, and that's actually being recorded or live streamed through Ecamm Live. If you're never going to share desktop audio, just go ahead and click on Never. That way you will never run into the situation or problem where you're accidentally hearing all of the application notifications on your recordings. Now, the next option here, mic delay and a slider switch here. This is generally speaking if you're using an audio and a video source that come from two different locations. So right now I have a mirrorless camera connected to my computer system, and my audio is coming in from an Elgato Wave XLR. That's an external audio interface connected to my Shure SM7B. So because the audio is coming in directly from the camera into a HDMI capture device, and then the audio is coming in from the Wave XLR, well, are they in sync or not? Most of the time, they're not. And so you have to go in and add some sort of a delay. The reason why is because video takes a little bit longer to process for any computer system, whereas audio is lickety-split fast. So if I delay the audio just a little bit, it's going to now be synchronized with the audio and the video. So my lips are actually in sync with what's actually being heard. So you want to adjust that accordingly. If you want to go ahead and test this, there is a great website that's linked in the description below. So just click there, create an account. It's absolutely free, and it'll allow you to figure out what that delay calculator is, what that delay is needed for your audio. The next three options are a little bit more advanced. Map input channels 1 and 2 to left and right stereo, mute movie sound on speakers, and system output mix mode. So this first option here, map output channels 1 and 2 to left and right stereo, this is required for some audio interfaces where like the Scarlett 2i2 as an example. If you're using that as your USB interface to bring in an XLR microphone, you're only going to hear the audio on one side. So you'll actually want to enable this option, and that's going to create a stereo channel. So you can see here, I have now two lines of green here, so that it's hearing left and right. If I uncheck it, all of that audio comes in as mono. So you want to check this or uncheck this depending upon whether or not you're hearing your mic in both headsets or both ears or just one. So change that accordingly. Mute movie sound on speakers. Anytime you're playing a video file from Ecamm Live, do you want to hear the video or not? Sometimes people don't, and they just want to play a scene that's playing a video, and then they can walk away for 5 minutes and then they can come back. Sometimes people don't want to hear that. If that's the case, you can go ahead and check this to mute that video. And the last option here says system output mix mode. This is for very advanced users that have different software applications that allow you to bring in multiple audio tracks. And that's where you're going to enable this option. And now Ecamm Live is going to send that audio out separately and differently in a more advanced manner. The majority of people don't need to play with this setting. So just to keep that in mind, if you're having some audio problems and you really can't figure it out, make sure that this option here is unchecked. I hope you're really enjoying this Ecamm Live Masterclass, because this has been an absolute joy for me to actually create. And the reason why is because I just love Ecamm Live, and I love the whole aspect of content creation, and I hope that you do as well. So please go ahead, leave some comments below. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know if you have other questions about the specific topic that I'm sharing in this video. And another thing that I really want you to do right now is I want you to go ahead and scan this QR code or click the link in the description below, because this is where I'm going to be housing not only just this Ecamm Live Masterclass, but a lot of cool extras that are not going to be found on YouTube. So you have to register for absolutely for free in order to grab this content. It's in my member portal. So go ahead, scan the QR code or click the link in the description, and I will see you on the other side. Now, back to the regular show. All right, we're moving along really, really well. Thank you again for continuing to follow me on this Ecamm Live Masterclass. The next video you're going to see right now by clicking on this link up here, we're actually going to go through the interview tab. And this interview tab is a feature for you to be able to bring in guests using what we call interview mode into Ecamm Live. So you can bring up to 10 guests going live with you into your production.